Hey guys, you've joined us live at Money Control. I'm Manisha Gupta and the focus is on sugar. Interesting day today because industry is headed to the Cabinet Secretary to talk about sugar, make a representation about the industry. Well, we have seen FRP go up for an increase, but there's no news on ethanol. The sugar prices continue to be just there. And then the industry is also looking at a longer crushing period when it comes to Maharashtra. What does it all really mean for the industry? To discuss all of that, we have with us Rahil Shaikh, MD at MEIR Commodities. Rahil, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. Yet another representation being made from the industry to the Cabinet Secretary. What is it all about? What are the details onto this? And what is it that the industry is looking to achieve out of this?
Thanks, Manisha. Thanks for having me on the show. You see, the main important demands of the industry remains is MSP now, because FRP has been consistently increasing. The last MSP increase was done in around 2019. Since then, if you see, the FRP has grown by about 19%, the thumb rule number. And I think we have seen about 14.5%. There should be an increase in the MSP in order to get to those kind of levels. So in our opinion, the first demand is of the MSP. And the second demand is to continue the ethanol blending, because we already have about 7 billion liters of ethanol capacity set up. The sugar production is increasing to around 32 million tons now. So we'll be adding about 3 million tons to our stock. So that diversion needs to be taken with immediate effect. So I think the first demand is to increase the MSP, which is I think the most fair demand should come in. Since 2019, it has not been done. And second, when you come to the point of ethanol blending, the ethanol blending was taken as a decision because our sugar production was looking down. Now the sugar production is again looking upward. So why derail that one of the very nicest policy and a project of our Prime Minister? I think we need to continue the blending operation with immediate effect.
Well, absolutely, Rahil. But, what all do you think that the ministry will really approve out of all of this? Because we do understand there are various crops that the government is looking at right now. And until elections, until the month of June or July, the expectations are that there isn't going to be much of a movement, really.
I mean, that's the political side of the story. I mean, the commercial side of the story will always remain on a daily basis. I mean, until the time of May, if we are going to push the main agendas if the industry will suffer for the short term, it's going to suffer for the long term. So I think what the ministry needs to look at is if there is an ever increasing FRP where the industry needs to pay, then there should be a demand which should be catered to the MSP side. I think that should be the first one, because the crushing period is about to get over. So I think we have a very limited time on ethanol diversion now, but it should be the long-term policy and immediate for next October onwards. How much blending are we going to do? What kind of percentage are we going to divert the next year? I think these are the things which can be immediately discussed. I mean, if we have a long-term policy, then the industry is there to support. You look at what is happening to the ethanol blending today. The corn side is not giving too much. The rice side is not giving too much. So the blending operation, if it needs to achieve 15% next year, it can only come in through the ethanol diversion through molasses, B-heavy molasses and sugarcane. So I think this is the priority. I think the government needs to look at this. And on the political side, I mean, it's something which they have to consider rather than we can only talk the commercial side.
Oh, Rahil, you talked about the blending, and that clearly was going to be my next question as well. There are a lot of concerns within the industry on whether or not we'll achieve that 15%.
If sugarcane is not contributing, the confidence level will always be zero to achieve that 15%. Because you see, despite a 12 to 13 liter to a 12 rupees a liter margin on the corn side, where we have increased the pricing accordingly, the commitment from the corn side is still very limited. I mean, it's not happening. The FCI rice is virtually zero. The rice is contributing to a very limited tonnage now. So I think if we want to go to around 15%, then 5 to 6 billion liter needs to come from the sugarcane side. And now, since the crop is higher, I think that negativity towards the increase in the domestic sugar price can now be taken off for a while. And I think industry can offer a 3 million tons of diversion which can take this to 15%. Otherwise, I think between corn, sugarcane, sea-heavy molasses, and rice, we should be able to only do about 8 to 9%.
All right. I also want to talk about the sugar prices itself, because the global markets have seen a surge come in yet again. In the previous week and even overnight, markets have seen strong gains come in.
You see, if you remember our last conversation on the world market, it was very categorical that the world is now overly dependent on Brazil. So Brazil dependency on sugar supply to the world, in our opinion, is about 75 to 80%. And if such kind of dependency on one country will remain, the market will always be volatile and constructive, in my opinion. I mean, anytime it drop down and Brazilians sort of, the supplies is tight, you will see this market on a very constructive one. So Brazilian is over dependency. Then rain in Brazil is about 30% down. So agricultural yield could be hit down there. So instead of 42 million, if we hear that any time that 39.5 million production will continue in Brazil, then we probably will see the market in the range of between 22 to 28 range. And India is not contributing. We are expected to the world market. Thailand crop is down. So I think over dependency on Brazil will keep the market volatile. And I think it will be Brazil-driven world market rather than any other country-driven.
Okay. Well, that is something we'll keep an eye on. So a final question, Rahil. So going forward, when you talk about the sugar industry within India, what is going to be that one most important thing for the industry to watch out from here?
If I have to take the cue, I think the FRP has increased, which means the sugarcane cultivation will increase. So if the sugarcane cultivation will increase, we need multiple diversion, we need ethanol program to work, and we need sustainability of the industry in the long term. If the cost of production is below the FRP is ever increasing, and if the cost of production is not matched, then we come back to the cyclicality, and that will be a very, very dangerous thing in the long run.
Oh, well, yes, we were reading those reports on how the cane farmers are the best remunerated ones. But you're right, if the industry doesn't flourish because of that, then it's going to be a bit of a mismatch going forward onto that one. Thank you, Rahil, as always.